Bloody hell! Have you ever wondered if everything you've been told about the stars and the Earth is a load of bollocks? Well, buckle up, because we're diving into some ancient sites that prove the stars move, and the Earth is as stationary as a bloody rock. For centuries you've been spoon-fed this nonsense about a spinning globe, whizzing through space like a runaway meatball. It's an absolute disgrace, a culinary catastrophe of cosmic proportions. But what if I told you the ancients, the ones who built monuments that defy explanation, knew the real score? What if their understanding of the heavens was far superior to the confused ramblings we hear today? Tonight, we're not mincing words, and we're certainly not taking any prisoners. I'm going to take you on a journey, a proper tour of ancient marvels that scream the truth. A truth so blindingly obvious, it's a wonder anyone still believes the mainstream narrative. These sites scattered across the land are not just piles of old stones, you muppets. They are precision instruments, calendars and observatories built by geniuses who watched the sky, not some bloody computer model. They saw the stars, the sun and the moon dance across the firmament, and they recorded it for us. If only we'd pull our heads out of the sand and look. Get ready to have your fragile little worldview shattered into a million pieces. We're going to explore sites that the so-called experts either ignore or completely misinterpret, probably because the truth would make their heads explode. From the mounds of Cahokia to the mysterious Sky Stone, each location is a testament to a fixed Earth and a gloriously moving cosmos. So, grab a stiff drink, settle in, and prepare to have your mind blown, because what you're about to see is the undiluted, raw and bloody brilliant truth that has been hidden in plain sight for far too long. Right, first stop, Cahokia Mounds in bloody Illinois. This isn't some quaint little village, you understand? This was a massive city, a metropolis that dwarfed London in its day, built by people who knew their celestial onions. They constructed enormous earthen mounds. The biggest, Monk's Mound, is larger at its base than the Great Pyramid of Giza. And what did they do with these colossal structures? They aligned them with pinpoint accuracy to the movements of the sun and stars. They built what's called Woodhenge, a series of timber circles that acted as a precise solar calendar marking solstices and equinoxes. These people weren't guessing, they were observing. They watched the sun rise and set, meticulously tracking its path across the sky year after year, century after century from their fixed vantage point. They saw the constellations wheel overhead, a majestic, predictable dance. Do you honestly think they'd build such monumental, astronomically aligned structures if their entire world was spinning like a top and hurtling through space? Don't be an idiot sandwich. Cahokia is a testament to a stable Earth, a platform from which the grand celestial theatre was observed. The sheer scale and precision are a massive earthy middle finger to the idea of a moving Earth. It's common sense, really. Next, we're off to the sun-baked lands of Arizona, to a place called Casa Malpe. Now, this isn't just some pile of volcanic rock. It's an archaeological landmark, a bloody marvel of ancient astronomical knowledge. The Mogollon people who lived here weren't just surviving, they were thriving, and they were bloody brilliant astronomers. They built structures that perfectly align with solar and lunar events, proving they had an intricate understanding of the celestial movements. We're talking about a great kiva, stairways and rock art, all pointing to specific points where the sun and moon would appear on key dates. It's not a coincidence. It's genius. This site is a testament to the unchanging sky, a sky that wheeled above them with predictable precision. They weren't calculating planetary orbits based on a spinning Earth. They were observing the lights in the heavens moving across their fixed horizon. These ancient civilizations weren't talking out of their asses, they were recording what they saw night after night, generation after generation. Casa Malpais shouts it from the desolate landscape, the stars, the sun, the moon, they are the ones doing the moving, while the earth beneath their feet remained as steadfast as the volcanic rock they built upon. It's right there in the stones. Now, let's head up to Wyoming, to the Bighorn Medicine Wheel. This isn't some hippy-dippy nonsense. This is an ancient stone circle, A proper celestial calendar that's been sitting up there at nearly 10,000 feet for thousands of years. It's made of stones laid out in a massive 28-spoke wheel about 80 feet across, with cairns marking specific astronomical alignments. We're talking alignments for the summer solstice, sunrise and sunset, and even for the rising of specific stars like Aldebaran, Rigel and Sirius. This isn't just a pretty pattern, it's a bloody, sophisticated instrument, a clockwork of stone. The fact that this wheel still accurately points to these celestial events after all this time is staggering. If the Earth was wobbling, spinning and careening through space in some mad cosmic ballet, do you really think these alignments would hold true for millennia? Get a grip. The Bighorn medicine wheel is a silent, stony sentinel, proving that the stars have been following the same predictable paths across our sky for eons. It hasn't missed a beat because the Earth underneath it hasn't missed a beat. It stayed put, providing a stable platform for these ancient sky watchers to map the heavens. It's so obvious, it's painful. Right, off to New Hampshire, to a place controversially known as America's Stonehenge. Now forget what the naysayers and the so-called debunkers try to tell you with their half-baked theories about colonial root cellars. This site in Salem is a complex of stone structures, chambers and astronomical alignments that screams of ancient, sophisticated knowledge. We're talking massive granite slabs, some weighing several tons, moved and positioned to mark solstices, equinoxes and even cross-quarter days. It's a bloody marvel of engineering and astronomical insight, and it's far older than some people want you to believe. This place is like a giant stony middle finger to modern astronomy's insistence on a spinning Earth. The alignments here are precise, deliberate, and they work because the celestial bodies they track are moving across a stationary sky. Why would anyone go to the trouble of quarrying and moving these enormous stones to track celestial events if the very ground they stood on was itself in constant, chaotic motion? It makes no bloody sense. America's Stonehenge, whatever its true origin, stands as a powerful testament to ancient people observing a predictable moving cosmos from a fixed terrestrial viewpoint. It's an open-air textbook, if you just open your bloody eyes. Next up, we're in Anderson, Indiana, looking at the Anderson Mounds. Another bloody masterpiece of ancient engineering and astronomical observation built by the Adena and Hopewell cultures. These aren't just random hills of dirt, you donut. These are carefully constructed earthworks, including a large central mound and circular enclosures that show a deep understanding of solar and lunar cycles. The alignments here are subtle but undeniable, pointing to significant celestial events that governed their calendar and their ceremonies. They were masters of their environment and keen observers of the heavens above them. These mounds in Indiana are another crucial piece of the puzzle, another nail in the coffin of the spinning globe fantasy. The people who built these structures lived on an Earth they perceived as stable, unmoving. From this firm foundation, they watched the sun travel its annual path. They saw the moon wax and wane through its phases, and they observed the stars wheeling overhead in their majestic procession. The consistency of these observations, encoded in earth and stone for thousands of years, proves that the sky's been the stage for all the cosmic action, while the Earth has remained the steadfast auditorium. It's as simple as that, get it right. Let's get ourselves to Colorado, to Chimney Rock. This isn't just a pretty geological formation, it's a sacred site and a celestial observatory for the ancestral Puebloans, the ancient Chacoan people. Between these two dramatic stone spires, these keen-eyed observers witnessed the incredible spectacle of the major northern lunar standstill, an event that happens only every 18.6 years. They built structures up there, high on the ridge, specifically to observe and mark this precise lunar event, a testament to their sophisticated astronomical knowledge and their patience. It's absolutely breathtaking, the genius of it. Now think about it. To predict and observe such a specific long-cycle event, like the lunar standstill from a fixed point on Earth, requires meticulous observation of the moon's intricate dance across the sky. Chimney Rock stands as a bloody monument to the unchanging heavens, or rather, the predictably changing patterns within those heavens. The Chacoans weren't worried about the Earth spinning or tilting. They were focused on the movements they could see. The grand celestial ballet performed for them nightly. The twin spires of Chimney Rock don't just frame the moon, they frame the bloody truth. The sky moves, the earth is still. Wake up and smell the coffee. Still in Colorado, we're off to a more hidden gem, a place called Crack Cave in Picture Canyon. This isn't some grand, monumental structure, it's a natural rock shelter, but what the ancients did with it is pure genius. Inside this unassuming cave, a narrow fissure in the rock, the crack, allows sunlight to penetrate deep into the darkness, but only at specific times of the year. At the spring and autumnal equinoxes, a beam of sunlight precisely illuminates ancient petroglyphs carved on the cave wall, creating a stunning display of light and shadow, a natural clock. This is ancient ingenuity at its finest, using the very landscape to mark the passage of time and the movement of the sun. The sunbeam doesn't hit those petroglyphs because the earth has spun and tilted into the perfect position. No, you muppet. It happens because the sun, in its annual journey across the celestial sphere, reaches the exact point in the sky where its light can enter that crack and strike those markings. Crack Cave is a beautiful, intimate demonstration of how a stationary observer can use the predictable movements of celestial bodies to create a perfect calendar. The stars and sun are on their merry way, and these clever buggers knew it. Chapter 8. Now straddling the Colorado-Utah border, we find Hovenweep National Monument with its incredible and unique stone towers. These aren't just defensive structures, oh no. The ancestral Puebloans who built these castles and towers, like Hovenweep Castle, Square Tower and Cajon Group, were master masons and astronomers. Many of these structures contain small, precisely placed ports and windows that align perfectly with the sun's position at solstices and equinoxes, and possibly even with the movements of stars and planets. It's like they built entire buildings as astronomical instruments. Think about the purpose of these carefully designed apertures. They were built to capture light from specific celestial events at specific times to mark the passage of seasons, to understand their cosmos. These towers are a stark reminder that for these ancient people the sky was a dynamic, moving entity, full of predictable patterns. They built their observatories on a stable, unmoving Earth to watch this celestial show. If the Earth itself were spinning and orbiting, the complexity of such observations and constructions would be exponentially, impossibly harder. Hovenweep's towers are silent stone sentinels, testifying to a revolving sky around a quiescent Earth. It's staring you right in the face. Chapter 9. Back to Ohio we go, to the Newark Earthworks, the largest complex of geometric earthen enclosures in the entire bloody world. Built by the Hopewell culture, this place is an absolute masterpiece of landscape architecture and astronomical alignment, covering several square miles. We're talking about a great circle, an octagon, and a square, all connected by parallel earthen walls, laid out with a precision that would challenge modern surveyors. And the jewel in the crown? The octagon earthworks are aligned to the complex 18.6-year cycle of the moon's northerly and southerly risings and settings. It's mind-boggling. To map out and construct something on this colossal scale, encoding the intricate dance of the moon over nearly 2 decades, requires an unwavering belief in a stable observational platform. These people weren't just guessing, they were masters of long-term celestial observation. They saw the moon trace its path across the sky, noting its subtle shifts and grand cycles, all from their fixed position on Earth. The Newark earthworks are not just mounds of dirt, they are a sophisticated astronomical computer built of Earth, a grand design that lays bare the movements of the cosmos as observed from a stationary planet. It's an open and shut case, you plonkers. Chapter 10. For our final piece of undeniable proof, we head to Bonnie Lake, Washington, to a peculiar and fascinating artifact known as the Skystone. This isn't some colossal ancient ruin, but a relatively small, unassuming basalt rock covered in man-made cupules, or small carved depressions. What makes this stone so bloody important is that these cupules appear to map out constellations, specifically circumpolar stars. Those stars that appear to rotate around the North Star and never set below the horizon from mid-northern latitudes. It's a miniature map of the northern sky, carved in stone. This sky stone and others like it found around the world is the final nail in the coffin for the spinning Earth delusion. Why would ancient people meticulously carve maps of the circumpolar stars if they believed they were on a rapidly spinning sphere? It's because they observed directly that the Earth was still, and the starry dome above them was in perpetual glorious motion. The sky stone is a testament to this fundamental observation, a simple yet profound statement that the stars have always been the ones on the move, tracing their paths across a fixed sky above a stationary Earth. It's the final word, the undeniable truth etched in stone for anyone with eyes to see and a brain to think. So there you have it, folks. The stars move, the Earth doesn't, and ancient civilizations knew it all along. If you still think otherwise, well, you're just a bloody idiot. Cheers. We've journeyed across the land, from the massive mounds of Cahokia to the intricate skystone, and what have we seen? We've seen undeniable, rock-solid evidence etched in stone and earth that our ancestors were not the primitive fools that mainstream science often paints them to be. They were brilliant observers, engineers and astronomers who understood the true nature of our cosmos. A stable, unmoving Earth at the centre of a glorious, revolving celestial sphere. The evidence is overwhelming, it's compelling, and frankly, it's bloody obvious once you take off the blinkers you've been forced to wear since primary school. These ancient sites don't lie. They don't have an agenda. They simply are, bearing silent witness to a truth that has been deliberately obscured and ridiculed for far too long. It's time to question the narrative, to think for yourselves, and to look at the world with fresh eyes, the way our ancestors did. They used their senses, their intellect, and their connection to the natural world to understand their place in the universe. So, what are you going to do? Are you going to go back to sleep, comfortably numb in your spinning ball delusion? Or are you going to wake the hell up, do your own research and demand answers? The truth is out there, written in the stars and carved into the very fabric of these ancient wonders. Don't let the donkeys tell you otherwise. If this video has rattled your cage, good. Share it with someone who needs a kick up the arse. Like, subscribe, and hit that bloody notification bell because we're just getting started. Now, get out.